Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tyler's Man Cave. In this video, we'll be brewing some beer. So I've got a pretty awesome kit here, the DIY beer from Coopers. Coopers is a pretty cool brand in Australia. They're more yeasty and yeah, they're quite happy to get this indeed. So this is pretty straightforward. It can be a little bit technical with the bits and pieces here, but it's I assure you it's rather simple indeed. So you basically get all of this in the kit. You get the packet of yeast, which is essentially a living organism, which will basically eat and subsequently digest and ferment this bad stuff here. So it's this is amber ale. So it's pretty. I think it's a pretty good introduction to brewing itself. So it's rather heavy as well. So now the instructions recommend that this actually go upside down. You invert the can for a couple of minutes before you brew, because this is the side you'll be opening it, and it's very thick. I don't know if obviously you can't see how heavy it is, but it's rather heavy indeed. So let's keep that there for the moment. You also get the carbonated drops as well. So that's pretty cool. They essentially go in the bottles once the yeast has had some time to do its thing. So, and this is the keg. So there you have it. That's just been rinsed out with hot water as is recommended. Obviously you don't want any contaminants in it. It doesn't need an extensive wash. It just needs a bit of hot water and away you go. So there we have it. We want this to be a cesspool of vice for our little yeasties to multiply and eat all the junk and subsequently digest alcohol. So let's get started, shall we? Righto guys, so we've actually got the temperature to around about the lowest side of 20 to 22 degrees, which is quite ideal. And now we are ready to open the yeast. So it comes in a packet like this. Now it's rather important to get the yeast in rather quickly, so just make sure there's not going to be any at the top. There you go. Now it's just recommended that these get sprinkled evenly over the top. Don't mix them in or anything like that. They will find their own way to the good stuff at the bottom. So there you have it. Place the lid on, and then we fire these clips on to prevent any crazy stuff happening. So as you can see, the little yeasties have found their way to the bottom, and they will eat and subsequently go nuts on the chip at the bottom. So here we are guys, it's been brewing for roughly 6 days, so we're going to do a bit of a test, see if it's ready for bottling. I think 6 days is enough as per the tutorial video, so let's have a look, shall we? So we need to do this little thing. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for, but you know. So I'm not really sure what this is meant to indicate, to be completely honest with you. I've been doing it for the last couple of days. I'm getting the same sort of measurement. So what the hell, I'm just going to bottle it up. It looks terrible, but actually it smells not bad. So let's importantly try some as well. So it smells like beer. Actually tastes like beer as well, so it's not bad. It's not carbonated, but it's yeah, better than I thought. I mean, it looks like shit in there, but actually once it's poured out, it sort of lightens the colour a bit. So I don't know, what the hell, let's just bottle it up and see how we go. So righto, so there we are, all bottled up nicely. I had a little bit of leftover in the keg, however it was mixed with a lot of yeast, etc. So probably a good thing I didn't put it in these bad boys. Now what we've got to do, we've got to put actually 2 carbonation drops into each bottle before we cap it up. So I'm not sure how quickly these things are going to basically fuse, if it's instant or over time, but then we essentially leave them for a couple of weeks to further ferment. At a temperature of around about 18 degrees. So let's give them a shot, shall we? And as you can see, they're already carbonating, so that's exciting. Nice and tight, we don't want any explosions. And then what we'll do, we'll just place them somewhere secure for a couple of weeks for them to ferment a bit further. They need to stay at around about 18 degrees. There you go, they'll be nice and safe and sound in there. If they erupt or anything like that, they can just do it in there and there's no problems at all. Righto guys, so it's been about 3 weeks since I bottled these beers. They've been sitting in a dark cupboard indoors at around about 18 degrees. So there they are. Now the longer you give them to ferment, the yeast does its thing and then hence better the quality. So there we have it. What I've done is a bit of fun. I've printed off some beer logos. So there they are, just some stickers to go on. I've called mine Gentle Squire's Barley Fizz. So this is a pretty cheap way just to have a bit of fun with them and also to brand the bottles as well. So it's from a website called beerbuilder.com. I found there were some pretty cool sites, but they were all overseas, and the postage from the US, it was ridiculous. It was like $100 or something stupid like that. So these cost me all in all about $12 or something along those lines. So there we have it. So these just simply peel off as such, and we stick them on as such. So there you have it. The first branded homebrew beer I've ever done, which is pretty cool. Right, so it's been about 3 weeks in the making since I've started my very first homebrew beer. I'm quite excited. Yeah, it's put a bit of care into it. I have been a little bit clueless as well with some of the elements, but I guess it was my first time. So this is the finished product. Titus Man Cave Gentle Squire's Barley Fizz. So let's give it a shot, shall we? So there it is. It's a relatively dark ale. Let's do the smell test. Okay. It smells better than it looks, to be completely honest with you. That's actually tastes quite nice. And there you have it. I'm just proud that I've produced my own beer. It's a rather interesting sort of brew indeed. Tastes very citrusy and hint of honey in it as well. So what better way to enjoy a beautiful summer's day than to sit back and enjoy a beer, nice frosty cold beer that you brewed your very own self. Hey YouTube, welcome back to Titus Man Cave. In this video, we'll be brewing some beer. So I've got a pretty awesome kit here, the DIY beer from Coopers. Coopers is a pretty cool brand in Australia. They're more yeasty, and yeah, they're quite happy to get this indeed. So this is pretty straightforward. It can look a little bit technical with the bits and pieces here, but it's I assure you, it's rather simple indeed. So you basically get all of this in the kit. You get the packet of yeast, which is essentially a living organism, which will basically eat and subsequently digest and ferment this bad stuff here. So this is amber ale. So it's pretty. I think it's a pretty good introduction to brewing itself. So it's rather heavy as well. So now the instructions recommend that this actually go upside down. You invert the can for a couple of minutes before you brew, because this is the side you'll be opening it, and it's very thick. I don't know if obviously you can't see how heavy it is, but it's rather heavy indeed. So